Alright then, so plans for this stream. First and foremost, we have a problem, and the big problem is where we are in the world. Depernia is here, and our only trading partner is here. We cannot reach them by any means. We cannot reach them by any means because apparently that isn't a road. That we can't go across there. We have to go through them to get anywhere, and as a consequence, we can't have trading partners anywhere else. We can see a lot of other places, but we can't actually have diplomatic interaction with them. Because this one kingdom here, it, for all intents and purposes, envelops us. They've sandwiched us up against the mountain, and the only way that we can actually start to have dealings with the outside world is to either someone else takes them over, and then we'll have dealings with that one other person, or we take them over, and then we can have dealings with everyone that they can, which is actually quite a few people. And so that's very, very tempting indeed. We have a look at the factions. They're not a small place. They've got 582 people living there, which means, well, thankfully they don't have any army, and they don't have any other towns to their name, or at least that I can see. But currently, these are the only people that we are in contact with. We do have a trade agreement going, so we can actually interact with them. But we're going to need to break out of this prison sooner or later. Now, the next thing that we've got going on is, presently, I'm quite concerned about our food. We've got 180 souls here. 130 of them are Talapi. We've got 44 Cretonians. They are very good farmers, and the Talapi are very good ranchers. We have got a pretty large ranch over here that's managing to bring us in a decent amount of meat and leather and animals, but we need to expand that a bit. We've even got some Dondorians who are particularly good at crafting. Now, one of the problems, and I didn't really pay enough attention to this, and now it's on me. Can I bring this up? Let me see about that. Where is it? There we go. Now, the Talapi, if we have a look down here, can I see right at the bottom, or is it somewhere else? Let's have a look. Where is it? There. The Talapi, they don't really... They're almost neutral about the presence of Cretonians, but they don't like Dondorians. They actively don't like them being here. Their preference is to have no Dondorians in their town. They can be okay with up to 40% of the population being Cretonian, but they literally want no dwarves. That's a bit of an issue. The Cretonians, they're actually fine with up to 75% of the people being Talapi. They're okay with being... Actually, I don't think this is like the percentage of people, but this is how much okay they are with the people. They're like 75% with Talapi, so they like Talapi more than they are liked by Talapi, but they're also equally okay with Dondorians. Dondorians are okay with the Talapi, and they're very okay with the Cretonians. But the issue with Talapis and the Dondorians, yeah, that's going to be a problem for us, frankly. That's going to continue to be a problem. I'm going to have to make sure that the other parts of their life are very happy and very good to offset the fact that they really don't want dwarves in their city. We are currently doing a little bit of research, but for the most part, this is actually a really, really small place. I hate the look of these fields. And I don't mind the ranch, actually, but I hate the look of these fields. I've built these fields far too blocky. There's no organic flair to them. I come from Britain. If you've ever looked at Britain from above, it's just a patchwork quilt of little farms. It's almost like some ancient spider lay its web across the island, and someone came and coloured in the spaces in between the strands, different field colours. Okay? So we're going to be changing that. But I'm not going to change it up here, because honestly the fertility is awful. There's a little bit of good fertility there. Most of the good fertility we gave to the animals, and that makes sense. However, we've got a lot of good fertility down here along the water's edge. So that's where we're going to set up our farmland, I think. And it makes a lot of sense setting up your farmland along the water. So that's probably where we're going to be heading down. We need to do that anyway. I'm worried about food. We've got... If I have a look at our population, is there a way for me to see who's working in what? I think there might be. We've currently got 59 people working in agriculture, 49 people working in refining, 16 people working in civic, 41 in infrastructure, and 7 in fundament. This is not high enough. Early on, until you've got some research behind you, or perhaps a couple of vassal states who are paying you taxes in the form of bread, I feel that your population needs to be about 50%? Well, let's say about 40%. 40% of your population, these are ye olde times. This is not industrialized farming times where one farmer can feed, several hundreds of people. This is rough. We need many more people out of this 180 working on making food. Otherwise, we will run out of food. I don't know what I was doing before, but I definitely lost sight. I was like, oh, I'm going to click on this. Oh, I'm going to click on that. Look, I've even upgraded this building. If we have a look at technology, I've actually gone for a building upgrade. And I haven't even... I've done a little bit in hunting, at least. Which makes sense, because the tilapia are good at that. But we've barely done anything for our food production. I've made... Okay, I can see what I've done. I can see... Ah, bread and I see. I've given them nicer places to eat their food and places to look at people doing funny dances to distract them from the fact that there isn't much food in those very nice places where they can eat food. Ha ha! I have pulled the wool over their eyes. They didn't even see it happening. Ah, glorious. True despot. But we have got a small military. It's only 20 strong right now. And it's mostly tilapia. And I am a little bit concerned about that as well. We've got a couple of things we need to worry about. We've currently got a 7% chance of being raided. We've got a... If we have a look at the Rose Thorns squad, this is 20 strong. It's tilapia. They're currently using warhammers, and they've got leather armor. If we have a look at them, they haven't actually... Oh, no, they have got all of the warhammers they need, and all of the leather armor they need, but they've only got 20% melee training. It's not great. Is it time for proper irrigated farm area, Aavak? Army can't march on an empty stomach. Well, we do have access to plumbing. Now, that's not something I've played around with yet, but there is a very good chance that will happen, yeah. They will dance for their bread. Yes, indeed they will. Now, the tilapia are great with a bow, not so great with anything else, actually. They've also got good morale. But if I were to create another group, and we were to edit this, if we have a look through the Crotonians, they're not good at fighting. They get sads. They have low morale. Dondorans, though, not good with the bow, but they have quite a lot of force. They are small, but they are massive. Okay? They might not be very tall. They are short of stature, but wide of shoulder, deep of chest. There is a lot of Dondoran in a very small package. Scaled up, Dondoria would exert a significantly larger gravitational force than Cretonia, for example. So, if they were to charge into an enemy formation, they would have a good chance of just straight up knocking people out. They would hit them hard and they would just cast them back and possibly even break the line. We've got Garthemi as well. Garthemi are quite interesting, even though they've got very low morale. They've actually got high pierce armor and pierce damage. You can fix morale with training. Humans, likewise, they're reasonably they've got a decent amount of force. The Mevias, though, they're really nice because they have the force of the Dondorans, but they have natural weapons. Their teeth and their claws they can use in a fight. The big thing that we have going for us with the Talapis is they are very hard to break emotionally. They will hold the line. The Argonosh, the giant spiders, they've got natural pierce armor, natural pierce damage. Actually, natural pierce damage equivalent to some weapons. Got ridiculous morale. You're not going to break the will of an Argonosh before you break the carapace of an Argonosh, basically. Also, force plus 240. If this thing hits you, you and all of the people around you are going flying, not just you. And then you've got the Cantors, which are the Argonosh again. Force plus 300. Well, they don't have the natural weapons of the Argonosh, but they are quite chunky. However, I am thinking of maybe getting a squad of Cantors. Just because they have that chunky hit points. Oh, actually, I mean, the Talapis have still got that as well. Is there any real benefit to the Crotonians then? I wonder. Offensive skill, defensive skill. No, not really. Interesting. Stamina of 1, what are the Talapis like? No, pretty much the same. I mean, the Talapis are weaker. More life. So this is another thing, is the weight impacts how much force you need to knock them off their feet. So, you know, a Talapis is only 56 kilos. If someone with a force of 60 slams into them, especially if they're weighing 88 kilos, you're going to lose. That's the way I'm reading that anyway. But I am considering getting another squad that maybe will fill with Cantors and have two squads. But that's something for maybe in the future. For now, presently we've got enough workers to do some things. I really feel that we need 2 things in particular. We need a steady source of stone, because we've got a steady source of wood over here. And we're using stone already to make the weapons. We're using wood and stone to make furniture and weapons. We're using leather to make the armor. We've got the source of leather. I basically want to try and cover the bases. We've got grain coming in. We've got wood going in for the fuel there. I would like more forestry. So forestry around here as well. But I would very much like to start gathering stone. We have so little available stone. If I bring up the... Let's have a look. Where are we? I wish these were alphabetized. But this is our stone deposit. It's not very much, but it's something. And it'll bring in a little bit. Also, this brings us closer to the lake's edge. So I think we're going to set up a little town down here. We're going to bring the town down here. We're going to tap into the water's edge. We're going to start fishing. We're going to start farming along the fertile lands along the bank. And we'll also start moving water around as well. And then somewhere in amongst all of that, once we've got that established, we will start mining stone down here. And we'll ship that up to the kind of the town center, if it is. Oh yeah, the piggies are not good fighters in the law. They want to farm and be merry. However, they will do what they're bloody well told. Is also in the law. Not to put too fine a point on it. Military service guarantees citizenship, etc., etc., etc. No, let's not go that far. I'm not going to guarantee them citizenship, whether they're in the army or not. I wonder. No, giving slaves weapons is a bad idea. But Aavak rules with an iron fist. Mobile infantry made me the man I am today. Good God, that film. Well, that book, honestly. I read the book much later after I read after I read the film. Yeah, I read the book after I read the film. Chat. All right, I've got a plan of action. It's time for us to make this happen. So we're going to unpause and just let things trickle down. Now, got a lot of things going on down here. Candy Rave weapons and Candy Rave armor. Yep. We built a bunch of stuff towards the end of the stream that I didn't then name, sadly. I'll kind of follow what I was doing before. For example, this will be Rave. I hate the line limit so much. Store. Got a market food stall. No. It's capitalized Nomery. It's a proper noun after all. Speaker. Candy Rave Rumour Mill. Got the well, the hearth, and then... I mean, honestly, we should probably have named it after the shrine, but I've started now, so I'll finish. Actually, there are now ponds, aren't there? So that's going to... You know what? I've named it, so I'm going to keep it, but... Because I just like the idea of people just... You know, as a bit of a lark, just you're sitting around the fountain with your friends, and then whoops, one of your friends just pushed you into the fountain. Ha ha! Everyone's finding it funny, but you. But there are actually ponds you can make now, specifically so your people have somewhere to swim to cool off in the hot days. There we go. Not sure if I will name everything in the end, again, because this game, you will have so many things, so I might just name something special in an area and then just kind of know that area is there. I don't know if I need to name every single carpenter, because realistically, I can just do this. You click there, you can see all of the other carpenters. Though that is kind of cool. Candy Rave Carpentry and Candy Rave Weapons. Marvellous. Nevertheless, that's all done now. The next thing we wanted to do is I kind of need to run a path pretty much all the way down here. Now, what I would like to see, fertility-wise, I want to avoid the fertile ground. So we're going to grab a road. I'm going to... This is going to be a fairly broad road, I would say, going down this way. Can I convert? Is there a way for me to make this brush, line, ellipse? Yeah, line. There we go. So if I grab... Ah, perfect. Yes. I want it to be 3 wide. Okay, well, it's... No, that's 2 wide. 1 more. There we are. Okay, I like... It's not actually that accurate to what I want, because it really wants to try and take a direct route. So if I draw it down here, it'll just go... It's basically like pathfinding. It's finding the most optimal route between my cursor and where it started. Whereas I want something that feels a bit more organic, but whatever. I can draw it in a way to achieve that. Bring this down a little bit further. And just keep bringing this down a bit. Right. That's going to be a good bit of work for them. However, now that I've done that, I wanted to create a path to give them an option to start weaving their way down there. Now I want to go back to regular blocks, and then I'm just going to draw this out so that there's a little connection point there. However, now that I've done that, I want them to take their own path down. I've given them a bit of an indication of how I want them to make their way over here, and I've tried to avoid the fertile ground where I'm able to. But the rest of this, I'm just going to let them dictate the path, and then I will build roads over the paths that they've taken. For now, though, I'm just going to start setting up a little area down here. Oh. Aavak, how are you, old chap? I wish I could say that I was doing well, but alas, misfortune has struck my kingdom, and I am being blackmailed by this bandit called Krull. I beg your assistance, so that I can pay off this scum and save my realm from devastation. Please, spare what you can. You know what, that's easy enough for me to do, sure. Krull is actually a story NPC in this, I believe. Do you still have Krull's raid? Does Krull still raid you, or rather Krull's offspring? I think in the earlier versions of the game, there was a guaranteed bandit raid at some point, and it would be led by Krull. But I think somewhere along the line, Krull was, like, canon has been killed. And now it's, like, Krull's offspring who raid you? I'm not sure about that. So, do the citizenry start to make their own paths, which affect the terrain? They will actually tramp the ground a little bit, but you can see the path they've taken. Demon works. Really? Did you just invoke that film? Krull, wait, does this mean we can get the glaive? There are probably about 2 people in this entire stream right now who know what we're talking about, and we are them. Unless there are other old film aficionados in chat who have any idea what Demon Works is talking about. Oh, Belial is here. Okay, well, hiya, Belial. Of course, you know. Oh, actually, a lot of you know. Dear God, really? Man. I'm surprised. I stumbled on that film one night when I was just bored out of my mind. And I had watched everything else on Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I was desperate for something to watch. And I was going down the rabbit hole of, like, super old... I don't know, they kind of had, like, sci-fi vibes with the sound effects and the synth and all of that, but they were fantasy films, but in some cases, fantasy future... It was a wild ride. Man, old films are great. I wouldn't say only 2. No, clearly. Quite a few people in here. What can you say, Aavak? You attract people of high class. Yeah, clearly. Right, I'm going to pause this for now because we need to lay down some stuff. First and foremost, we're going to want a lot of people living here to work the farms. So let's start off with a square. And I like the idea of the square either being the well or the hearth. We can go with the well. And we can pop it about, let's say, somewhere around here. Pop right there. Now this is a huge well. There are 12 spots around this well, which means it's going to be able to accommodate an enormous population. Because it's like, 12 people at a time can use it. So, in effect, a lot of people will be able to use it. We want a hearth. We want to keep people from getting too cold. You can make massive hearths, but I really don't think we need that big of a hearth. I think we're going to go with a hearth about this size for now. We're just going to pop that on the far side of the well. Next, we are going to go with... I'm not sure about a stage, but I do want a speaker. I want like a town crier. I feel that the speaker is a definite you need. You can only really have one size of this. So we'll have the speaker the other side of the well. There we go. That is going to form the beginning of our little area down here. And now I'm going to connect it all with paths. We'll bring that out one more. There we are. Now, the Telapis and the Praetorians care about harmony, care about organic shapes. Dondorians don't really care. I don't think they care about harmony, like as in they literally don't care. However, roundness they dislike. They don't like roundness. They want roundness to be low. Yeah, they don't care about harmony or dread. It doesn't matter to them in the slightest. Ore matters to them, and they like ore to be high. Roundness they want to be low, and so they want more square structures, buildings. Noise. Oh. Huh. You know what? I had no idea, but Dondorians like noise. I thought noise was universally not liked. Oh, you learn something new every day. They like benches too. They like benches. They don't care about noise, and they actively dislike noise. Learn something new every day. Praetorians like a lot of space, which makes sense. They like farms. Right, so that's the first bit of this place. Next up, we will also want some distribution. We're going to want a food stall. Thinking we don't need much right now. Something like this will require... So, the total amount of people that can be served simultaneously. The other number is the estimate of how many subjects the room will be able to serve, derived from your subject's properties. Is that the total? Like the total? Because that's not going to be anywhere near what we need then. We could have a bit of a larger market. You know what? We'll have a much larger market. I'll have a broader walkway over here. Maybe we'll have these markets going up about this high. Hello, Periapsis. How you doing, mate? I think maybe expanding this out a bit. How wide can... Oh, actually, these can get quite wide. So this will be a better use of that. One there and one there. That should work. I could expand it even further if I wanted to. And yeah, I kind of do. Let's plan for a much larger area here than we need. We are going to have a lot of people over here. So the plan here is to have something like this. This would be able to service 45 people and 20 of them simultaneously. We're not going to need that many for now, but we'll earmark this area all the same. I'll just allow them to scale up how many people are working there. Either that, or I can just remove some of the stalls and just keep... you know what? Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's remove some of the stalls, just so that we're not liable to have that many people. This is still one employee works here, which is actually quite... not much at all. Can I get this to a round number? 150. So, I guess if I had 2 of them, that would be exactly 3 employees. Could do something like that, I suppose, if I was willing to. Over here, and then how many was that? 6, 7. Because the thing is, we're going to have a lot of people down here. Ultimately, that's my desire, is to have an enormous amount of people living in this area, because this is going to be the breadbasket of the city. Actually, I want to move that up a bit so that they can enter from that side. So let's take us up to a potential 3 people serving them, which I think is quite reasonable. What do you think about that? I think that's a decent amount. I hope you're doing well this fine day. I am Dead X Lantern. Glad I caught your scream. You have an... I'm not even sure how to pronounce that word, but surgical thing. You're just a bit stressed, and the stream is going to help soothe you. I'm very glad. Very glad, mate. Well, I'm sure the procedure, which I failed to pronounce, will go completely fine. I think that'll look nice. That's a lot of wood there, so we're going to cut this back a bit to just this much for now. We'll okay that, and then I am going to add in a market on the far side. Are we going to have the same amount of people? Quite possibly. Actually, how wide is this? That is... Wait. It's not going to tell me, is it? Oh, that's just annoying. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's exactly 10. Perfect. Pop this there. Oh, why is it showing okay down on this side? Oh, well, whatever, I guess. Alright. There we are, and there. This can service a lot more people, but it has the opportunity to expand out. So I'll have 2 employees in each one. They'll be able to help most people coming around this way. I can just pop this up and around. There we go. That is going to irritate me if I don't do this. Gonna have to move that one, I think. Now, the nice thing about this is if we end up with an area that I like, we can basically stamp it. We can use this as the default area in the future. Pop that there. Something like that. We can add in trees and lights and such. Perhaps it has an apartment inspection. Oh, I hope it goes well, mate. So I think this is quite a decent square. Now we can add on other things around it. For example, janitors, lavatory. We're going to need those. We can then build out the homes and such. But the first thing I want to do is actually have somewhere for them to move down here to. Now this is an awful lot of stuff I need. I've got stone, wood, all kinds of gubbins. Stone, wood, and furniture so far are the main things. Now, what would I need for a... Can I pause them? No, cancel that. Is there a way for me to pause something? Activate... Suspend job. Perfect. Suspend all of those. And you'll see why in a moment. I want the roads to be put down. But I'm going to try and accumulate all the building materials here before we actually break ground for all of that. The next thing, I would definitely want health lavatory. You could have a lavatory and a janitor somewhere around here. I'm thinking having a wide... Like, this will be the entry point and exit point down to the farms and up to the rest of the city. Something like that. I've missed one column on the road to the left. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I've already got that one. Thank you for catching it, though, Atomic Aliens. That would have annoyed me. Down here, sure, we can make a reasonable lavatory. So 1, 2, space, 1, space, 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 something like this. We'd have latrines on the inside. This can handle up to 60 people. Let's move that around a little bit. Basins will have 2. There we are, 100%. And I will have doors coming in from that side. Now I'll hand up to 60 people. Now, as this is going to be largely Praetorians and Talapi who are going to be farming here, I want this to be organic. And it's very easy to make a thing organic. It's crazy easy, actually. All you need to do is just expand out the shape ever so slightly. Now, it does lend to waste in the sense of your use of space. But does it really hurt? Not really. Something like this will be more than good enough for them. I might actually keep one wall straight, though, just so that I can use it for something else. But we'll have the entryway a little bit shaped like that. Then we'll have the road going up and around. That'll also need furniture, so we're going to pause this, suspend job. I will allow them to build the walls, though. I would also like the roads around here too. Now, since I know that this is going to be the main thoroughfare, I'm going to block that in. Something like this. And then we can also throw in maybe a little bit of harmony with some trees. So, since I know that I'm going to want trees down here, let's go ahead and pop them down here as well. Just following this line. Something a bit like this. There we go. That'll make sure there's a minimal level of harmony around this area. There we go. That'll look lovely. Right, so that's the lavatory. That's taken care of pretty much all of the health, the well, and the lavatory. We've taken care of all of the distribution. We haven't got shrines yet, but we'll get to that. That'll go in later. We've got the speaker, so a little bit of entertainment. We've also got the hearth. So one of the last things then for us is to start putting in some homes. Now, as these are largely going to be Talapi and Praetorian homes, we're going to want rounded buildings. Oh wow, New Earths. Finished second at the Belgian Junior Squash Championships. That is amazing. Congratulations. That is absolutely fantastic. Oh yes, of course. I've got to put it down janitors. Thank you very much for reminding me about that, Atomic Aliens. But that is absolutely wonderful, New Earths. Let's go ahead. We'll pop the janitor. You know what? We can give the janitor pride of place over here. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I want repaired. So, janitor. We don't need to mirror it, and in fact, I would rather not mirror it. So instead, let's just pop this down. Now, the workstation here can't be changed in size. It is simply a certain way, and that is the way that it is. But once again, we're going to give this a different shape, but that will allow me to add more workstations. And just because I like the idea of making this a little bit more sealed in. Like that. Now, this is only 55% efficient, which is to say it's really not efficient. So we're going to expand this out at least this far and then shape it off. We want utilities. Can I put this there? No. No, of course I can't. That would be too easy. Far too easy. Can I do anything with it? No. Well, let's see what I can do over on this side. Up to 65, 75. What I could do then is expand this wall out and have the utility cross across there. That brings me up to 77 at least. We're going to need to expand this a little bit further. I want to try and get this as cheap as I can. See, a large janitor like this, maybe I should put her on the far side. In fact, I'm kind of getting that impression now. How about we rework the room a little bit and see if we can't make this work in a different way. Since this will fit in there, I could just have all of the utilities workstations on the inside. On there, there. Yeah, that brings us up to the correct amount, but it's a little bit less pleasant to look at, so let's fiddle around with the shape a little bit. Something like this. That brings us up to 96, and maybe 100, there we go. Instead, the roundness here can come from a recessed entrance. Could I do that? I can. Oh, I double can. That's marvelous. I approve. So the recess there can be the thing that gives us the roundness. Right, so once again, we want to suspend that job. So I don't want people rushing down here trying to build this until I've actually brought down the materials for them to build with. Just because this is a big job that we're giving them here. And it's going to take them quite a bit of time to do. I am going to want some harmony here, so we'll have some trees just outside. There we go. Another thing that we're going to need, actually thinking about it, is benches, because they do like having benches. Bench there, 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 and there. You can actually have diagonal corners, yeah, but I think you've got to wait for the walls to be built first, but yeah, you can make diagonal. I don't think the diagonalness affects whether they consider it round or not. It's the same, like they still consider a tile to be a tile to be a tile, and it's just whether there's a wall there and it makes a square, or whether it doesn't make a square. It's literally that's all as far as I can tell. It is it a square or is it not? And if it is not, then it is round, even though it's not. But, you know, we're not going to question it too much. Right, so that's all in place. Now I need to design, and I think I'm just going to design this. Well, I guess I could design it here, because then I could have it on this side as well. We want to have a housing area. Now for this, I'm going to turn off walls. Because what I'm thinking is of making an area that is internal. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Do something like this. Maybe some apartments as well. The only problem is then that would have very little privacy whatsoever. And this kind of feels squished in a bit. But we could do something along these lines if I wanted to. I know the Praetorians like space, though, which this is patently not going to have available to them. But with all of that done, then we can go into here, go to construct, structures and walls, and then just build the wall out around this external structure. Have an internal space. The only other issue is they're not going to have much privacy at all. It's not the privacy that I'm worried about. I'm using the wrong word there. It's the isolation, which increases the amount of building materials needed. But this would afford a decent amount of space, and it's technically tileable. Let's remove this side first. Let's remove all of it. Remove, delete all. No, that's delete. I need to delete jobs. There we go. How about... I want something that I can kind of... Almost a modular building that I can put together in different configurations to give me an organic looking thing, but it's largely easy for me to just cut and paste. Therein is the problem. It's difficult to make something like that. But that would be 10, 20. I think these can have 5 people in each one, so that's 30 people just there. We could go a lot bigger with it, but yeah, we'll be having dwarves in a separate area. Yeah, the Dondorans don't like communal living. Well, I mean they do, but sorry, that's actually completely wrong from what I was trying to say. They don't like round shapes. And we're specifically trying to build something here that is round. You know what? I could just repeat this pattern like so for now. Because this will almost certainly give us enough. There will almost certainly be enough isolation here for us to have reasonable amounts of construction... maintenance fees. And then we just do this. So now there is an internal walkway between these areas, and then we can have some additional decorations on the outside. So something along these lines. Let's go for trees again. Trees are my go-to, really. I could even make it prettier by having the door. No, I think this is round enough. Frankly, I don't think we need to go any further than that. Let's pop a couple of flowers in, and we're golden. Alright, roads all the way around. Ah, drat. Okay, so when you're building constructions, it does not consider constructions, oddly, to be solid when you're then pasting roads. It'll just paste over them. But there we are. That works. That does what I want. Just make sure that is, in fact, the ceiling. Yep. Okay. So once again, we're going to suspend these jobs. So just suspend the living quarters. But everything else, they can be built. This is pretty simple area. Now, the way that we're going to get all of this done is logistics. Haulers. I want some haulers who are going to bring some whomping amounts of materials down here. Specifically, I'm going to want one hauler bringing wood, one hauler bringing stone, one hauler bringing furniture, and I think that's all we're going to need for now. Alright, finally time to unpause the simulation. But do dwarves like diagonals? Well, that is a question, isn't it? We're going to have a lot of forestry around here. Now, I haven't even looked into what I'm going to do for the fields yet, but we're going to follow the fertility where we can. Hey, you sewer rat, how you doing, mate? We are digging a hole, yes. Well, sort of. First, we're hoeing a furrow. We need to set up some farms around here. Fishing a fish. Building a new little area, new little hub to set up a new part of the city. We're going to have a new district down here where a lot of the Talapis and Cretonians are going to live. Now, to help out with this, I kind of want more workforce. And 4 more Cretonians, I'll accept. Go. Come join us. Now, this place is going to be the great place. This is bumping. It's got all kinds of things going on. That being said, it's got much smaller markets, but that's the difference between planning ahead versus just growing as you go. So we're just going to have to live with that one. Also, these farms are just garbage. I hate them. Why? Why have I got such ugly farms? It makes my soul hurt. Yeah, we are going to be extending the road all the way down there, yep. Effectively, I'm just bringing this road down to begin with, and then I'm going to follow the path they take. I'm just going to let them dictate where the rest of the road goes, because if I go to this, where is it? Path usage. I can see how they're starting to move. And from where? Wow, a lot of them came straight across there. That's kind of crazy. But I'm seeing more and more and more of that now. Can I prioritize a job? No, I can't. Deep sadness. Is there really no prioritizing of a job? Guess not. Okay. Right, oh, looks like they're already working on it. Perfect. But we got 4 people who can help us now. Got 12 odd jobbers. Starting to see the first bits of looks like we're moving into I was gonna say first bits of snow, but no, clearly not. And everything going on up here is okay. Two of the things that I am the most worried about though is that we're still currently importing all of our clothes and importing all of our pottery, and that's really not good. While all of this is going down, I'm going to build a cotton farm. I know, I hate these farms too, but I need to have something going for us to bring in some clothing while I'm getting everything else sorted out. That would have 6 farmers. That would have 7.5. That's 7 1/4 rather. Okay, that's almost 8 farmers, that's fine. We'll have this as a cotton field. It's got awful fertility, but whatever. It's going to bring in 76 cotton. Can I unlock weaving? Yes, for 120. Oh, can I make... Oh, damn, I didn't check this. I need 200 to be able to make clothes out of fabric. Wait, no. Surely I should be able to do that anyway. Crude leather, survival clothing is inefficient and ugly. Your tailors learn how to work with fine bolts of cloth. No, okay, fair enough, never mind. Don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. I need some more researchers then. I've got 3 days worth of food. I should have instead switched over to purchasing the cotton and then used my research points to unlock being able to tailor with cloth. Oh, that's annoying. Right now we're just getting meat from over here, which is fine because the tilapis like meat. Is it possible that I could get some more learning going on? I only need a little bit. Here's the real question. As someone who's never played or heard of this game, what is the stance on war crimes? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Or, indeed, any of the things in... Don't look at the curtain. Don't look at the room. Don't go in the room. Stay outside of the door. It's for your own benefit. Okay? That way... you won't get arrested by our guards and possibly thrown in the stocks to be humiliated so that your time in the prison is reduced, because your humiliation would probably have taught you a lesson and not to be a bad egg. But if, in fact, you didn't learn the lesson not to be a bad egg, maybe you'd want to be tried in our courts if we've decided to build one, because why not just send everyone to the slave pens, and the ones that we don't send to the slave pens we can send to the arena so that they can die in gladiatorial combat for the hilarity of our people. And, you know, on the odd chance that they've done something really bad like drunk coffee, we can just straight up execute them. But until we've got all of these buildings, you know what, we'll just exile you because it's easier. It's hard being a despot. Really it is. How are things going down? Oh, I meant to be focused on this. Right, I want auto-employ, sure. Want this to be wood, this to be stone, and this to be furniture. There we are. Now, peeps should start carrying this stuff down here. And as you will have noticed there's a little bit of ground tramping going on. It takes a good while for it to happen, but it does. Now, to help this along, I'm going to go ahead and tell them to cut down some of these trees while they're here. Because we're going to need all of this wood, and having it close by is going to be super useful. Then grab all of those rocks as well. Just the loose stones would be fine. I think that'll be more than enough. Yeah. Now, we are going to need more research to be able to make our own clothes, and we're not in winter at the moment, but the lack of clothes is a problem. It is going to make our people very, very sad. And we don't want them to be sad. So, let's go ahead and make another area for mind learning and stuff. Now, I personally like to have things against walls. I feel that it's a better use of the space, generally speaking. So something like this, for example. And there's no auxiliaries here, so we don't really need to worry too much about that. However, I do want to have a nice shape to this area. Almost like a dome. Maybe we'll have the entrance at the top. If we had a little bit of something we could put in there, I would, but alas, we don't, that I know of. I don't think, anyway. No. It would be cool if we did, but oh well. Instead, we'll do this. Now, this is more of a frog rather than our rabbit over there. It's a frog with a row of chair teeth. Just connect that up over there. Once again, we'll pop in some small trees. Tree there, some flower pots. Some flowers in the corner. There we go. Barrett Head Research Center. Oh my lord, actually, yeah. I guess, yeah, I suppose so. Right, there we go. We've got all of this stuff down here. That's perfect. Right, time to start enabling things to be made over time. So activate job. We'll first get all these three made. That way then, our workers down here will be able to make use of it as they please. Path usage. Okay, I can see... Wow, they're just coming straight down there. I'm not even using this road. But we're going to make use of the road ourselves. Let's continue constructing. I want to go back to the line tool. I want to increase... No, actually we don't need to increase it. So we want to go down about here. And start moving over just a little bit. So that's a very sheer turn, isn't it? I've got to be honest, not super taken with the line tool. It isn't as useful as I wished it would be. As I was imagining it to be. Kind of wanted it to be more of a, kind of a... Well, maybe I could do brush, actually. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. That is so much better. Oh, my lord. Why wasn't I thinking with my head? I need to stop thinking with my stomach. My stomach is asleep. Okay, well, this whole road is a little bit wonky, and we'll clear it up later, but... Now, line tool down here, that's fine. That makes sense down here.